Hello all, good to see you, thank you for coming back. So, as I call it with the kids, this is Cliff's Choo Choos, or what we know it in YouTube world at the minute as Cliff Road Model Railway. Slow progress, never done a YouTube channel before, really don't know what I'm doing. Getting my 9-year-old to actually help me out a lot of the time. Some of it is a bit of hit and miss and me googling and ChatGPTing and goodness knows what else. So you may have seen somewhere in the week that I did a very good little short. I think it's good, quite a lot of views, 300. Nowhere near my subscribers, or 18, but I'm really thankful for all the 18. Some really good people like Proper Jaft and Jenny Kirk and loads of people behind the scenes actually helping me out here, so it's really positive from that point of view, so I do thank you all. So yeah, going back to the short, because I do like to ramble, I started doing a detailing of the sleepers. So this is not my first ever attempt, so I've done quite a lot of model trains, quite a lot actually, quite a lot of model rides. I've been doing this since I was like 10, now I want to say what, 18 now? We could all wish, but no, it's been about 20-30 years on and off in the hobby. Like a lot of people, life happens. I went to uni and goodness knows what, did my nurse training, did a lot of pre-hospital advanced care and goodness knows what else. So where I'm at now is 2 kids and a wife, 2-year-old, a 9-year-old going on 19. So I'm getting back into the hobby, making some new friends along the way. So that's what it should be about. We should all be helping each other out. It's a niche little hobby, it's a niche little community, and I think, yeah, every little bit of support we can give each other eggs the next person on. So it's always a really good thing. So in the short, again, going back to that ramble, I've primered up the sleepers. So it is ready for the next part of my painting, which is going to be detailing a weathered look of the sleepers. So this is the track. So what some of you may have noticed is that actually the layout has slightly changed. I say slightly changed. What I've actually done is reverted it around, and actually that's one of the beauties of this layout now, is I can flip it from front to back, back to front, just by like rotating it around, if that makes any sense to anybody. But I think this is actually the angle that I have chosen now. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to detail the sleepers. So proper old kind of discoloured wooden sleeper anyway. So all I'm going to do is going to show you this and this one. I'm not going to do this one today. Reason being, there may be another point that sneaks into here, looping it across that way. But that's probably another bit maybe for another episode, or a short. It's not going to be that exciting, is it? So these are the paints I've kind of got at the minute. I say kind of, what I can find. So yes, I could go off and buy new paints, but this is quite an expensive hobby at the end of the day, and what I find is we should be using what we've got, and I think we should be helping each other out with any DIY routes that we've all got. So they're the paints I've got, so they're the paints I'm going to use. Likely, let's face it, the yellow's not going to be used for this, but the other 3 most definitely so. So what you can see is I've lined up my 3 primary colours that I told you about before and gave you a bit of a close-up. Again, what you may notice is something has changed at the back. There is another wooden board, so I guess if you really wanted to, which I don't, you could always, like, if you're designing something like this, use this, raise it up, get it level, and you can actually have more track, but that's not the way I'm going. The whole purpose of this is it's a 3-foot compact model railway, which is going to be realistic as much as I can do, modern image, likely a network rail, tambour, colas, kind of siding yard depot. But for those that saw the early beginnings and its early phases, underneath this I've actually got the storage for the trains, and then it kind of got me thinking, well, I'm actually going to be doing episodes coming up, so if you want to like and subscribe feel free. I don't mind. I'm trying to help everybody out at the end of the day, but I will be repainting a number of trains, as I've said in previous episodes. But I can't really do that on the table, can't really do it anywhere else because of the kids. So actually, the number one place to do it was here. So now I've got underneath the track, I've actually got where I store the trains. Top is actually the layout, and the back is now going to be where I actually need to paint or glue things up or build anything. So everything really is combined now. The back here, it doesn't look level, it isn't level, and there's a reason for that. Something I'm currently doing for this episode anyway, or this, whatever you don't want to call it. But it's going to have a hedge, so keep an eye out. I'm going to do another topic on scenery, which is going to be the hedges, grass, static grass, that sort of thing. I'm going to do one on ballasting, if anybody's interested in it. I don't know. Do you want to see me ballast? I don't know. Leave a comment. I don't know. There's so many videos, a lot of things. My ballasting is not going to be normal though. I'm going to tell you that. It's not going to be glue. It's going to be super glue. So I say glue as in PVA glue. No, changed my mind. Said in a previous episode that's where I'm going. I changed my mind. No, I haven't got time for all of that. I haven't got time for it to stick and dry and all that with kids. This gets moved a lot, this layout. So that's to facilitate doing the episodes, because it's really hard work, and I appreciate everybody now on YouTube who has done videos. I think we should all just like and subscribe to them. I really do, because the amount of work you have to do to a YouTube channel for everybody else's enjoyment, I think we all need some positivity back, and I think one of the ways we find it is subscribers, views, sponsorship, and I'm nowhere near wanted sponsorship. But I'd like to get into trouble figures with my subscribers. Would we all? So, moving forward, so a lot of my background is the Cambrian coast, plus or minus Shrewsbury, which is actually part of the Cambrian coast. And if you look very carefully, excuse the mess, there is actually a Cambrian coast little railway kind of ongoing. It's a bit rubbish, but you know, that's what happens when you have a 2-year-old and she keeps pulling up your track. So back to this layout anyway. So coming back to this Cambrian theme, a lot of the sleepers prior to steel, prior to this new concrete stuff, the relaying, has always been wooden sleepers. And if you look really carefully at wooden sleepers, they're a bit of a grey, a bit of a white, a bit of a black, a bit of a brown, a bit of every other colour. I've actually seen them yellow as well locally, near Aberystwyth before now as well, when they're getting replaced. So that's going to be what happens now. So it won't look right initially on this video because it's going to be wet, but as time goes on and dries, it will look a lot more realistic. So a lot of people usually ballast and then paint their sleepers and then weather their rails. Well, realistically, after doing about 30 different train sets now, that's not always a really good way to go about things. So my advice is you leave the ballast until last. Okay, do your sleepers first. When they're dry, then do your rail. Okay, so do your rail a rusty colour or leave it as it is. You know, it's your layout at the end of the day. And I'm just here just to try and help you create other types of realism, or actually things that people don't really think about doing. I've spent a lot of time researching a lot of American layouts, German layouts, Swedish layouts before even getting close to this and doing this YouTube thing. So there might be some, hopefully, new things that nobody's really thought about or rare, like the super glue technique, which I'll show you. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go for the lighter colour. So the lighter colour is my matte 121, whatever that will be. So it kind of looks a bit of a pinky grey colour. Make sure that you stir it up properly at the bottom. There's a good tip. And you could theoretically use a thin paintbrush, but well, I got a 2-year-old who's asleep next to me and I really don't want to awaken, so it's a bit of a quick fast blast, if that's a word. So what I'm going to be doing is painting every 3 others or something or other. So it's how I want to see it really. So as you can see, dab, 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 dabbity dab, dabbity dab, and you keep moving forward. So to me, this is actually not really that bad of a colour, and it doesn't matter if they're every other or not. And it's kind of good also when you start running out of paint. And if you look closer, you can see what I've been referring to were the ball heads on this. Probably not the best as I can see, but I'm trying my best. I haven't got fancy equipment, and we've all got to start somewhere, as I keep saying. So I'm going to keep moving forward. Boom, 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 boom. And you can see now that it doesn't matter that I haven't got a thin paintbrush. And you can see what I'm saying now. This was not deliberate, it's gone here. So if you ballasted beforehand and you're attempting this, it's going to go onto your ballast. And it's going to be really weird colours. So that's a big tip for everybody here. There's probably a do not. So keep going. And yeah, it might look a bit slapdash and a bit rushed. And I guess it is to a point. You get what you can get when you got a baby sleeping next to you in the living room. But hey ho, it's a hobby. And what I'm trying to do is show to people that you don't need a big layout. Everything can be combined. You can have a family and still do these things, but you just have to work around how you can achieve these things. So keep going, keep going, keep going. And I must admit, it's probably, I don't know, is it the most exciting job in the world? Probably not the most boring job in the world. I think ballasting is probably the most boring job in the world. Tell me what you all think, isn't it? But you can see now that it doesn't particularly matter how I go about this. And yeah, I will be, what you can't see, sorry, dabbing along. So you can get a mix of different kind of shades with one colour. Boom, 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 boom. And if we want to mix it up a bit, we can go for one of the other colours, which is the Matte 160 by Humbrol. And I must say, I had this for a cracking deal from Albatross, I think it was, in Aberystwyth, so a good little shout out to them. That was the previous owner, who's unfortunately passed away now, but fair play to his family, they have now taken over, so they are helping me on my way. So that's what I mean, we must support our own little local businesses as well. So they don't know I've just said this in this YouTube video. Probably let them know at some point, but yeah, I'm not like paid by them or anything. I just speak as I find. That's why I give shout outs to people as I go along the way, because I think it's just kind. And it makes us, at the end of the day, we're all trying to do something, aren't we, and trying to help each other out. We should be. And there's enough drama going on in the world at the minute. So try adding the different colour. And the good thing is, some of you might say, well, shouldn't you be cleaning your brush between them? Well, probably. However, does it matter? No, it's your own train set, isn't it? I'm just trying to help you along the way. So somewhere around here would be probably where Tampa might sit, so it would theoretically be a bit darker. But the beauty now is, what you can't quite see, I've got white, I've got this reddy brown colour, and I've got this black mixing in, so now you get a bit of a mix match. So it's actually quite good in a way. So if you can see here, it starts adding like different variances of colour, which is kind of what the real world is like. You just have to be boring enough like me just to spend enough time and kind of just keep looking, to be honest with you. But that's how we find these things out. by being observant. So hopefully you can all see where this is progressing to. And I was saying I was probably going to do a separate one episode on Rails, but you know what, I may actually show you tonight, because in all honesty it's not exactly rocket science, and it's not going to take a huge amount of time, is it? Let's face it. So as you can see here, I'm mixing and matching my colours, mix and match my colours, mix and match. And this is where you have to be a bit artistic. So luckily I'm a bit artistic. I've got an artistic wife, artistic 9-year-old, 2-year-old that likes to draw and everything. And I've been brought up with kind of art as well, so it all helps. So hopefully you can all see like how to vary up your colours. And like one of the things is, if you're not happy at the end of it, even if you ballasted, you can still do fine tuning of these things anyway. So it might look a bit weird at the minute, but you've got to think, you know, there's no ballast down, is there? But you can see now the benefit of actually not having your ballast down too early. So I'm just kind of mixing them up, my colours at the minute. I don't want them too white. Well, it's more of a grey beige colour, to be honest. But once you start adding in all your other ballast and mixing up your ballasts, things become a little bit more less colourful, I guess. I'm going to leave the points to last, because actually most of the points in real life, they're kind of black. I don't know, it's oil, isn't it, and soot, and if you're not modelling modern image, you've got to be soot, I'd imagine. Now what I want is like variety. So as you can see now, I'm starting to find my colours by mixing and matching them. So I want a bit more white, maybe here, blah blah blah. Oh, but you can see none of us are perfect. I got too excited. Time is your ally. So if nothing else, wait is my advice. So you can see, I probably should have slowed down and waited a bit, and then I wouldn't have had that problem. So what we can do, if I'm not showing you, mix and match, mix and match. Remember, it's about having fun. It's your layout. You could buy an airbrush, I guess, if you wanted for all of this. But one of the points I'm trying to show is it's an expensive hobby if you're not careful. And there's some really great layouts out there, like especially on YouTube, and they've got air brushes and you know, and I'm just like, that's 30, 40, 50 quid right there. If your space is premium and you haven't got an attic and you haven't got a shed and all the other things where you can hide away and do these things, and you haven't got a lot of other stuff going on, then yeah, they probably are a great tool. However, what I'm trying to show you is, what if you live in a flat? I'm trying to show you, you can actually get into model our ways, can't you? If you're young, I don't know, if you're a kid or something like that watching this, go for it. Well, let's say go for it with your parents, obviously, but like, you don't need mass amounts of money. Again, that's what I'm kind of trying to show you. And you don't need everything scattered everywhere. You just have to think outside the box. And if anybody gets the pun there, box case, box file, I guess, which is also something for you all to consider, isn't it? You can actually do shoe boxes as layouts.
I would argue how much variety you get out of that, or how much enjoyment, but it depends if you like shunting. And to be honest, all this is an extended box file, isn't it? Which neither here or there, is it? This is my layout. I'm hoping to inspire people. I'm hoping that people will find my videos helpful. I'm hoping to find new friends along the way, which I think bit by bit I am. There's like Jenny Kurt, there's Hilton from Proper Jeff. In fact, there's quite a few other people. But I'm just rubbish with trying to do 600 things at once, which is keeping a baby asleep next to me, trying to paint and trying to video and trying to hold the phone together as well. It's all a learning process, and it's all quite good fun, to be fair. It's all what you make of these things. So at the minute now, you can see I am kind of losing interest in this. Not in a bad way. I'm not saying it's boring. I'm just saying I'm trying to get things organised on my layout, trying to get a video, trying to see if I'm actually of any use to anybody and whether all these videos are worth it. Hopefully so. So what I'm doing now, black, boom, 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 boom. Which is here, which actually, give it a good stare, and then you realise there wasn't really all that much there. Now, one interesting thing here, I just started painting black on black. I'm just looking, is it worth it? Probably maybe. What's there to lose in it? Because this is the thing, you don't know until it's all dry, and it might actually just give a bit more of a matty kind of look anyway. But most certainly places like this, it's like when you've looked at enough points. So I used to live in Shrewsbury before I moved to Aberystwyth, and yeah, I was there at Colham all the blooming time on the bridge and looking at the points at Sutton Bridge. So you do start picking up all these little things, and yeah, I've got multiple photos of the points, random things going on at Colham. So I got lots of ideas. So lots of tampers of my life. Now whether or not this will go well as a tamper, because one of my biggest things is, if anybody can think, how many companies make tampers for our double O's or N-gauge or anything for that matter. There is virtually zilch, which is no good for me in this layout. So obviously if I'm going down that route, there's going to be an awful lot of scratch building. I don't own one of these 3D printers. Maybe somebody wants to do me one for free. What, you know, I'm really joking. But yeah, but that's part of the fun. You know, I was talking to Pete Waterman not so long ago, and he was like, you know, things become so expensive, people are losing the ability to make things from scratch, that we're kind of getting to a bit of a stalemate. Yeah, which is right. So at the minute, if you can see, we've got a very, very, very messy kind of looking painted sleeper job, and you might think, oh my god, this looks a mess and it doesn't look right and this, that and the other, but the reality is this is what modelling is about, and this is what they actually start looking like when they are so fresh and from scratch. A lot of the YouTube channels or on Facebook, on Instagram, they show this is the ideal, perfect, all done, all singing, all dancing. None of us have seen the mess beforehand. So what I was saying is, here I was going to have a point. Well, yes or no, maybe so. But what I know, roughly, if you look, the new point is about that big. So I could crudely go from here, know it's here, make a mark, and there's nothing to stop me painting these up. So what I'll do, probably add brown or red or whatever colour this is, mix it up just to add some sort of colour into all of this, because if I do want to point there, you might say, well, probably shouldn't you actually be, well, I don't know, some of you might actually think, Cliff, shouldn't you actually be putting the point in early and not painting your things and doing all of this, that and the other? Well, actually, I would say ordinarily, probably yes. But it's about knowing the ins and outs and how you go about things. Cut here, you cut there, cut here and cut there, yeah, there's a bit of solder but nothing major. Remove from here, which is easily done. Pull gently the rails back, plonk your point in, slide your rails back into the fish plates. So, by the way, if you are using this type of track, the fish plates are not normal K75s. Okay, this is not quite your normal track, so you will have to buy the proper fish plates that go with it, unfortunately. I'm not cheating, but £10 each, but they are what they are at the end of the day, and they do actually kind of give some realism if you're that close. I might show you in another episode. It's just going to be hard to show on this while I'm painting and trying to talk to you all. So, I don't know, is this any use to anybody? It's just a guide. You can see I've actually soldered in the wires now. It's going to come straight across to here, pops out about here. Controller's going to be there, may or may not be DCC. This, the controller, someone's kindly made me a 3D printed pull switch, which has come, but I'll show you that in another episode, give a bit of review. Again, not affiliated with them. I've actually bought it, to be fair, but I think it's about helping each other out, and I think if someone's got a fairly good product, then we should all be like highlighting these things to everybody, and supporting little local businesses, and goodness knows what I thought we've got available to ourselves. And again, this is what me and Pete Waterman were talking about. So this is kind of where we're at. Looks a bit strange. It is strange, but certainly I know here this would be a blacker colour. Maybe I'll just add a bit of discoloration in with the white, just to make it look a bit more worn, which I can pull from here, just fade it in. So this is about weathering, and I'm hopefully showing you all that you don't actually need these fancy airbrushes, hopefully. So as I said, should I not do weathering the sleepers? Maybe I will in a moment. After a brief pause, which you can probably all tell, there was a bang from the cats, there was lights from the tractors, and then the baby's eyes woke up, and I think she's quietly going back to sleep, or just ignoring my whittering. So hopefully I'm not making you all go to sleep yet. So I have opted that I may as well paint the sleepers, not the sleepers, sorry, that's me talking about sleepers, the rail and the bullhead with it. So easiest way would actually be a thin paintbrush, but I haven't got one, and I'm afraid of my one little daughter waking up, so it's literally gonna be, if you can see, across, which is slightly a bodge, but it's not gonna matter too much. So sometimes you do these things and you figure out a new way of doing it. So as you can see, I was going lengthways, and now I've realised I can just actually flick upwards. Now if you're going to flick up for your own sakes, Make sure you've not got too much paint on, you're going to have paint everywhere. And if you're a kiddie bob doing this with your mum or your dad, be careful, because you don't want to upset them. So at the minute this is kind of where it's at, and we can do lots of fine tuning as we go along. It won't be today, it'll be after the ballasting episode. So dun 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 dun. I think we all try and do these things in the quickest way we can sometimes, but again, time is your ally, and if nothing else, just wait. And I should wait. I've done so many of these projects before, then it doesn't particularly matter, does it? So that's the basis anyway. I'm sure you don't all need me to show you how to do these rails, so that's just the way that I'm going to keep doing it. So hopefully this is helpful, it's informative, it's cheap for you all, shows that you don't need mass amounts of skill, and that it can create a realistic looking model railway, which on the face of it, it really doesn't look like it at the minute. But you haven't got your ballasting yet, we haven't got the static grass down, we haven't got the line side equipment down yet, so plenty more episodes to come. And again, feel free to like and subscribe, it really does keep me motivated. It is hard doing a YouTube channel and having a family and working as a nurse in a hospital and all the other dynamics in life. So again, thank you for watching, and look out for my next episode, which will be the ballasting. Have a good one all.